This is Amy, the Teen Librarian from the Stevens Memorial Library, and I am here today to share just a quick self-care tip about taking care of yourself during this time. So something that I have been doing for several years now is coloring books. I have several of my own at home, but there are lots of coloring pages available for free online as well. For the sake of this video, I am coloring one that I found online that I will definitely make sure I give the link to, so you can check it out for yourselves, as well as many other coloring pages. So coloring books really kind of hit the scene a couple years ago. Specifically adult coloring books, basically saying that you don't have to be a kid to color, but there has been a lot of study into coloring books and what they can do for self-care. So what exactly does coloring do in terms of self-care? It is a very big de-stressor. According to an article that I found online from Piedmont Healthcare, 5 reasons to start coloring is that 1, it's de-stressing. Coloring can be beneficial for adults because it has a de-stressing effect. So adults, but also children, teens. The act of coloring requires repetition and attention to detail, so you are able to focus on the activity rather than your worries. As you relax, your brain lowers activity in the amygdala, which is responsible for our fight or flight responses, which is stress. Coloring brings out imagination and helps us recall childhood, but for a lot of people, we had less stress as children than we do now. Coloring also boosts brain power. Psychologists say that coloring activates different parts of the brain's cerebral hemispheres. It activates our logic through color forms and shapes, as well as our creativity when we are mixing and matching colors. Coloring also activates areas of the brains that are responsible for vision and fine motor skills. Another great thing is that anyone can do it. You don't have to be artistic to color. You just need the pre-made form and something, whether it's colored pencils, crayons, markers, whatever you have. It's very easy to get and therefore easy to do. You don't have to be an art student to color. Another thing is that it helps you unplug. You step away from technology, computers, your phone. It gives you just a chance to unwind from everything going on, especially all the things we can be bombarded with right now in the news cycle. And lastly, of course, it's inexpensive. Coloring books aren't that expensive, and you can get a cheap pack of crayons for a couple dollars, and there are even free coloring pages, as I mentioned, online. Just another note, you can multitask when coloring. If you notice, my phone is off to the side in this video, and that's because I am listening to an audiobook. I downloaded several audiobooks from Overdrive. Right now I'm listening to the nonfiction title, The Queens of Animation by Natalia Holt. And this is a story about the women in Disney in the early days of Disney Studios and how they made cinematic history. So it's this whole untold story about the women in animation and Disney and how they helped transform the early days of Disney Studios. It's a fascinating listen, and I definitely highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for some interesting tidbits of history, especially if you're a big fan of Disney and what they put out. So that's just another way that you can use coloring to your advantage in times of stress, is you can listen to a good audiobook, hopefully one that relaxes you, not stresses you out, as you color. So thank you for joining us today. I will hopefully have more of these videos on different ways to take care of yourself. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and as my coloring page says, today I choose joy. So I hope that you do too. Have a good day and take care. Bye.